Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. When I saw this game, I was like, where have you been my whole life? I never saw this in the arcade as a kid. I actually saw this on Twitter. Someone posted a gif of like what I think is possibly the first boss or a midway boss, and I was like, this might be the best boss battle I have ever seen. So I had to kind of seek it out. I found out what the game was called and I tried it out. Now it's a beat 'em up where you scroll along and fight, but it's very different. So you are Tecmo Knight who can ride like two creatures, one of them being like this big dude and the other one being that little tiger that you saw. Now I did get a power up along the way somewhere that gave me this mount that was a dragon, which seemed to be invincible, and it just one-shotted every enemy in the game. Like, honestly, this is such a fantastic beat 'em up. But guys, don't take my word on it. Have a look at this boss battle and tell me if you've ever seen a better boss battle. Okay, so here we are, guys. Like, is that King Kong or just another giant gorilla? But he just kind of pops out, his hands are trying to grab you, and I'm honestly like, this is mind-blowing. As a kid, if I saw this in the arcade, I would have fallen in love with this. So this is made by Tecmo, which came out around the same time as another game I did actually play in the arcade called Ninja Gaiden, and that was like fantastic. It was difficult, it was hard, but it had some really good moves. And this game has got some cool moves which I kind of figured out towards the end of my gameplay for shooting this video, and I was like, wow, what's a cool move. But guys, like, look at that hand, it's just coming out to try and grab you. And this is what I saw in a tweet. I saw someone tweet this and I was like, I've got to find this game. It just looks so stylish. Okay, so before we look at that really cool move, one thing I was really happy about, the visual option in this game. It's got different like scan lines with different densities. So I've gone for like A3 here. I'll go for some of the darker ones as well. And guys, like, honestly, it is so awesome to see these effects. Like some retro games that come out, when you're just looking at those graphics that are meant to be seen on a CRT, you're seeing them on an LCD or an LED or a modern display, they just look terrible. But it was just really nice to see that they're here. Now I'm not sure how good they're looking on YouTube, because YouTube's compression doesn't work very well when I use shaders of any kind. So here I am, I've gone for like the heaviest one, the A5, the darkest one, and at least to me this looks really good. It looks more authentic to actually playing this stuff in the arcade. And that's the dragon mount I was talking about, the most powerful one. So I've got the symbol there and it literally takes everything out. But I did want to see it in a lighter color. So here I am with like the A2 filter. And guys, this dragon is powerful. It's good. You don't get it for too long, but when you do get it, it is so much fun. And here he is landing again on that dude. Now, some of the moves that I figured out like later, let's have a look at them now. It's this one over here where I was trying to do like a jumping attack, like a flying kick or something, and it wasn't working. And I only figured this by accident, where I jumped up and I landed on their shoulders and I plummeted them. And you also get a different variation of this when you're riding the tiger. And by the way, riding the tiger reminds me of He-Man riding Battle Cat. I mean, look how awesome that is. Look how good the enemies look, and when you jump on their heads and do that move, it is just super. I mean, look over there, I was behind the enemy there, but I'm on my Battle Cat and I'm spinning around. I'm spinning round and round and round and attacking them. Look how cool that looks. Personally, I prefer the other one where that big dude jumps on their shoulders and kind of just punches their heads. But guys, this game is so good. I really wish we get an FPGA implementation of this in the future, because something like this would just be so awesome on the MiSTer or the Analogue Pocket. Okay, how can you not love that kind of continue screen? Do you remember the continue screen in Ninja Gaiden where like he's tied up and the chainsaws or the round kind of chain blade is coming down at him? Well, in this one you're kind of about to get swallowed up by something, and look how gruesome it is. When you attack those enemies and you destroy them, you're ripping their heads off or kicking their heads off. Honestly, I can never get bored of spinning on those enemies. Now around there I was trying to pick up those balls or those bombs, trying to think, okay, I can do something with those, but the way that you trigger them, not sure if I'll do it on this part or later in the video, but you hit that barrel and it rolls over to those bombs and then kind of like destroys the enemies or destroys you. Here I am, I've done it here, and I figured it out way after. But the fun thing about this game was it plays different to other beat 'em up. So if you're used to your Final Fight, Cadillac and Dinosaur, Streets of Rage, it's different to those. Like the way the game plays, it is very unique. And as there is no FPGA implementation of this at the moment, I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch as one of the arcade archive releases. Now I actually find, as far as retro games go for modern machines, I've actually enjoyed the Arcade Archive purchases that I've made, this being one of them. I like the fact it's got scan lines in it, it's got filters, and if there is latency, there is a little bit of latency, but honestly it doesn't ruin the game. Like, I have fun playing this game. There's other stuff that I played recently, like the PGM collection. That was just terrible. And another big thing is you've got the correct aspect ratio here. The games are being played in 4:3. They're not stretched out. You can probably stretch them out. It's not something that I like doing, but I like the fact that I can actually play them in their native aspect ratios. Those kind of turtle things make me laugh, because when they kind of get whacked out, they fall on the floor and they look like big babies. But honestly, I can't praise this game enough. It's so nice to find new games. It's nice, like, browsing Twitter and seeing a screenshot and then working out what that game is and finding out what that game is and playing it and finding out that, wow, this game is actually awesome. Do share your stories about me with this game, especially if you saw it in the UK. Like, I never saw this in the UK. It's not like I went all around the UK, but I never saw this around London. And while going around London, we did see a lot of different games in the arcades. You know, all the corner shops, all the sweet shops, convenience stores as you would call them, the chip shops, which would be our takeaway shops that sold like fries, fish and chips and all that stuff. They had all these games. They had lots and lots of games, but I never ever saw this, and I really wish if I did, because I would have loved it. Just your protagonist running on that little tiger definitely reminds me of He-Man, and I was a big He-Man fan. You know, around that time in the 80s, if you were a kid of the 80s, you loved He-Man. But here's that continue screen again. I absolutely love it, and I'm not going to continue this time. I'm just going to let him get swallowed up by that monster. But that's really it, guys, for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do share your thoughts about this game. And if you've got any other games out there that you think I haven't played, please recommend them to me. I would love to check them out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is super appreciated, guys. I will see you around in the next video. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.